So, before we jump into ReZero Season 2, I want to go through some cut content and I want to do some theory crafting as well. So, I'm gonna just write all my theories down, my major ones. I think I have like 5 or 6 major theories, so we are all caught up with my theories. Then we're gonna read the cut content. Yes, I was sent a PDF file to read the cut content. And then we're gonna go and check if I can add to my theories or not. So my first major theory that I actually got in the ending of last season, season 1, is that Rem was eaten by the sin of gluttony. Archbishop. Now, I was editing episode, I think it was 10 of Director's Cut. I think it's like episode 18 or 19, normal one. And when Buck was talking to Betelgeuse, he said the white whale is nearby, like as in like gluttony. Buck said gluttony and the white whale, right? So at that point, I thought, oh, maybe the white whale is gluttony. He even said that, like maybe the white whale is the Archbishop of Gluttony. But I think the Archbishop of Gluttony uses the white whale as well, because, you know, first time when Rem went missing, or like the first time when Otto was like, who's Rem, and then Ram was like, who's Rem, it was like episode 16, 17, episode 7 or 8 of Director's Cut. It was while Rem was fighting the white whale. Now, I do think maybe gluttony, the sin of gluttony, was with the white whale, right? Now, the white whale was defeated, so white whale wasn't responsible for the leading peoples, or the leading people of this world, their memories, their existence. It had to be someone else. Now, if you take what Buck said from season 1 finale about the white whale and gluttony, I think that this appearance for Rem is actually the Archbishop of Gluttony themselves. Right? Now, I wonder though. I seriously wonder if that is the case. Is season 2 main villain gonna be gluttony? Just like how season 1 it was sloth, as in Betelgeuse. Now, my second theory. Betelgeuse is not dead. Why do I think so? It's because of his ability, or his way of when he dies, he goes to another body, right? Now, I think what Subaru did in the last few episodes, he kind of won against that. But I feel like there will be, for Betelgeuse, there will be always a plan B. What if there's not a, what if there's a finger, what if there's no finger or no vessel nearby that he can go into? He probably has a backup plan where he goes into like his like main body, whatever it is. Because I think Betelgeuse has, a second point, Betelgeuse has a main body somewhere that we haven't seen yet, and that's just like his backup body where he goes to if he like dies and there's no other vessels to go to, right? So that's what I think. So these are my 3 theories so far. Now, talking about Deathloop and Subaru Deathloop ability is is supposed to be Archbishop of Pride ability. Just like how Betelgeuse's ability of changing up bodies, I think Subaru's ability is Deathloop, and that was given to him by the witch. Because I think the Witch of Envy is responsible for Subaru to be isekai'd into this world. Now, I have a feeling that the witch herself, Envy got isekai, Envy is from another world. That's what I think, but I don't know if it is the same world as Subaru is, like our world. I don't think so. I think it might be another edit entirely, but I do think that... Wait, but then it also makes sense that the other sins are also from different worlds, if Subaru is. Gosh, okay, I think that's going through like a rabbit hole, which I don't think we have enough evidence for. But I do think for this we have a lot of evidence. If you compare Subaru, he was supposed to be the candidate of Archbishop of Pride, even though he hasn't received the gospel. You know what I mean? That you think him taking Pedalquiz's gospel is kinda receiving the gospel, you know? I think Pedalquiz has a main body somewhere that we haven't seen it. Like, it keeps it somewhere safe, basically. So I do think, and that's my point, that Pedalquiz is not dead. Rem was eaten by the sin of gluttony. You know, like, these things. But now I want to talk about the fingers, right? Fingers are mindless. I want to say NPCs, but I guess NPCs. Because, like, the fingers of the archbishops, right? From the witches cult. Let's put, like, witches cult. The reason why I say this is because if you have seen the fingers or how they act, they're kind of like robotic. Like, they are not part of their own body. I'm guessing they were like humans and demi-humans that were maybe taken control by the Witch of Envy and turned into, you know, her minions. And the only people that are actually in control are the archbishops, like sloth, gluttony, stuff like that. Now, Satella's current form is a vessel related to Emilia, mom or sister. You know how Emilia is a candidate or is a vessel? Satella wants her as a vessel, right? That was mentioned before. What if the witch's current form is also not her real form, but she took another person's like body, kind of like how Pedalquiz does it actually. But I think for the Witch of Envy, like maybe she needs it or something, and maybe her body is actually right now is Emilia's mom or sister or someone related to Emilia, and that's the reason why Emilia resembles the Witch of Envy so much, right? That's what I'm thinking. Now, because we don't know much about Emilia's parents, we know from the movie that we saw the elves of the forest that froze over and stuff like that, but we haven't seen much from Satella, and also we haven't seen much of Emilia's like close related family either. So that's what the model's gonna keep in mind. You know what I mean? What else? I think we're gonna move on to cut content now, and if I remember something, I'm gonna bring it up. Right? So let's go. Let's pull up the PDF file. Go back. Beware. Abandon hope and all who enters. Free parking. Okay, very cool. The first page of cut content. Anyway, so we're starting off with the Frozen Bond movie actually, which is the latest piece of content that we watched. So let me blow my nose first. This is Patreon exclusive footage right here. Uncut, unedited reactions. Me blowing my nose. So, how do I make it so you can see better? Okay. Movie Frozen Bond. In the prologue, information about the 4 great spirits and an outsider can be found. Okay. 4 great spirits. Is one of them maybe Buck? 4 great spirits. Interesting. In the prologue, the story, which was not adapted, contains some world building about the 4 great spirits that existed before the story. The Arbiter, Melaquera. Oh, I thought it was... I guess the Arbiter is the right one. Melaquera is also spelled differently than it was in my subs. Okay, interesting. Who acts to preserve the world's balance. Yeah, that was why Melaquera in the movie was after Emilia, because, you know, obviously kill before, you know, something bad happens. The Slasher, Sarestia. Ooh, new name. Who indulges internal peace in her bed. Okay. Sarestia. Internal peace in her bed. Interesting. But the name, like the name Slasher, does not really, you know, remind me of eternal peace. The word Slasher is like serial killer name, no? Interesting. The Stone, Muspel, a sanctuary that only exists without will nor words. So there's a spirit called Muspel. And it's a sanctuary that only exists without will nor words. Okay. Without will. Interesting. The sacred beast, Odd class. Like Odd? Huh. Watches over humanity with affection and benevolence, and is the soul of the 4 friendly to mankind. Okay, so this already 1, 2, 3, 4. So Buck is not one of the 4. There's also mention of Buck as the beast of the end. Oh. An outsider to the 4 great spirits, but with power rivaling them. Okay. This is more of a mistranslation, fixed rather than a cut content, but what Crunchyroll translated as the 4 great contaminants. Oh. Should have been 4 great outsiders. There's a reference to the unadapted prologue of the Frozen Bonds light novel. So there are 3 more outsiders, including Buck. Interesting, but I don't think we have seen any of those except for Melaquera in the movie and Buck as well. And I was right about Melaquera, by the way. Like Melaquera is like the world's police. You know, I didn't say it like that in the movie in action, but I said like he's trying to like keeps the peace and destroy all the dangers to the world. But I guess balance. Interesting. So maybe not only bring peace, but bring balance. You know what I mean? But the Slasher. So the Arbiter, the Slasher, the Stone, and the Sacred Beast. Interesting. Melaquera speaks about the world's endless history of experiencing great crises through the witch's reincarnation. Melaquera's words in the light novel have much stronger implication that he believes Emilia to be a reincarnation of the witch. Then he goes on a tangent on how history is spiral, that its endless repetition and endless transmigration is an error, that he has experienced the crisis of the world's downfall endlessly. So, transmigration is a term I actually learned recently from Lord of the Mysteries, right? Isn't that what Betelgeuse also does whenever he like is in danger or like he dies? He takes the body of a finger, basically, or that in the case like Subaru. That's also transmigration, right? So that will make sense that Emilia would be the next vessel because the witch can transmigrate into Emilia. So that's by going back to my theory about Stella's current form is a vessel at Emilia, for example. Maybe the Witch of Envy transmigrated into Emilia's mom or sister, right? But now something is wrong with that vessel that Stella needs to transmigrate into Emilia. It doesn't have to be mom or sister. It can be like Emilia's ancestor as well, right? Anyway. So, and he has experienced the crisis of the world's downfall endlessly. That means that Melaquera is very old. In the epilogue, Emilia and Buck's first meeting with Roswaal is depicted. Okay, so we saw some of that not meeting, but we saw the fight a little bit in the previous movie of Memory Snow or Snow of Memory. I remember that quite fondly, and that was like an insane battle. I think it went on for like 3 days or something like that, right? Entire chapter that takes place 7 years after the fight with Melaquera. Ooh. So that's what I mean, by the way, that Emilia is a lot older. Emilia, how old will she be? I think she's like 60, 70, maybe 100 years old. I think elves have a very long lifespan. Entire chapter that takes place 7 years after the fight with Melaquera. In it, Emilia returns to her house to find a man inside, admiring her map. Is that Roswaal, maybe? A sudden intrusion prompts her a fight between Buck and the man, in which Emilia's house of many years is destroyed. Wow. After a fight lasting half a day, the man properly introduces himself as Roswaal L. Mathers and hands the insignia to Emilia. The jewel closes in her hand, and Roswaal explains that he has a task that only Emilia can fulfill. Invites her out of the forest, luring her in with a reward. A method to awaken the frozen people in the forest. Yep. And as Emilia acts the proposal. I mean, Roswaal hasn't done this, right? Another one of my theories is that Roswaal is behind the witch cult attack on his estate. Because where the fuck is he? Like, it's kind of suspicious that he has always busy. Like, he was busy during the attack, right? Nowhere to be found. By the way, he's the strongest mage in Lukunika, right? And the Witches Cult knew that he was out. Do you think the Witches Cult would have attacked the mansion if they knew Roswaal was in the mansion? They had some info that, Roswaal wasn't there. And I think, and honestly, I think Roswaal was himself that gave the info to the Witches Cult, and is kind of backstabbed Emilia there. Also, we know that Roswaal wants to kill the dragon, right? But why? I think the dragon spirit contracted with Lukunika, right? At least I think it's a spirit. I forgot if it was mentioned or not, but yeah. Anyway, why? I mean, I can see a few reasons why. Killing the dragon equals power for Roswaal. The dragon has something that Roswaal wants. Killing the dragon benefits. I mean, the third one is like obviously like it's not doing it for sport, right? I don't know if it's after power or it's after something that the dragon has, right? He didn't explicitly mention the reason though. I think the second one is more likely. What kind of spirit have? Also, one of my theories is, I keep remembering my theories. I have them written down as well in my Word document, but Beatrice is a spirit. I think so as well. I think this is also true. Because we know that Beatrice is not human. That was said in like the very early episodes. Or, I mean, it was super assuming, I think, but I'm pretty sure that Beatrice didn't deny it or anything like that. So I think Beatrice is a spirit. Anyway, so this hasn't been done yet. I'm pretty freaking sure. So this is after Emilia. I am really suspicious of Roswaal. Okay, so we're done with the movie thing. Melaquera, the Great Four Spirits. I'm gonna be remembering these names: Muspel, Slasher, Odd Class, and Melaquera. Okay, so season 1, so episode 1 to 6 didn't have any cut content. Also, another theory I just remembered. Belt is related to Priscilla. Is that how you write her name? Priscilla? That's one of my, also another theory I have. So yeah, quite a lot of theories. Anyway, let's go. Season 1, Episode 7. It is mentioned that there has been an onslaught undertaken by the Black Serpent. It's the same Black Serpent that was mentioned in the movie. Remember the black water? I wonder. So I wonder if Black Serpent's another spirit. Okay. After boarding Priscilla's carriage, Subaru and Al talk about their status as a royal candidate, where some knowledge about the world is given. There's a great waterfall bordering the known world, meaning that it's a flat world. Oh my god, the flat earthers. Okay, so the look not I mean the Lukunika is the kingdom, but the world that Subaru was isekai to is flat. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a great waterfall, if you fall from the great waterfall, there's something under there. So I'm guessing the world is like this, right? And then the waterfall like drips like this. Very bad drawing, but looks like the sun, but yeah. So what if Subaru goes there and falls off? What happens if people fall off? What if Subaru goes there and falls off to his own world? That's how he escaped this world. Interesting. Also, I noticed there's always a full moon, by the way. Always a full moon. During the conversation with Al, casually mentions that he had noticed that Subaru is going through. Okay. I mean, Al himself is, his face is ruined by Brasilia, right? So I kind of feel bad for him. Wait, understand what I'm going. You're, really? Oh, okay. Can't I really blame you for doubting me? I will believe my ears yesterday that stuff about how even chance meetings are the result of karma. The red threads. Haven't heard those quotes in 18 years. 18 years! Also, red threads symbolize a bond in Japanese culture. Which is interesting, right? Conversation shifts with Priscilla joining in and making jokes about Subaru's status and how she could use this fool for her own benefit. And Al interjected saying, "Hey princess, don't tease him too much, okay? He's from my home." Al is from Japan? 18. Al. Oh that's am I a complete dumbass, or is that what it basically means? What was Subaru's reaction to that? What was Subaru's reaction to that? It's not written here, is it? Oh my god, okay, I mean, that's really interesting already, guys. Oh shit. Ooh. Al is from, I mean, this is the theory, I mean, this is pretty sad, but Al is from our world, Earth. I mean, I noticed that he said Gyodai, which I think Subaru also says Gyodai, no? It's like it's like an accent, or not an accent, it's like a different way of saying brother. And it looks like Al has been here for at least 18 years, which is a lot of years, by the way. Okay, interesting. Very freaking interesting, guys. So 18 years. 730's quotes. Hmm. Also, karma exists. Makes sense for Al because he's from Earth, right? Oh my god, fucking the little subtle, because karma won't exist in Lukunika because there won't be no Buddhism, right? Holy, okay, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, because, yeah, I think this is true because karma will not exist in Lukunika, right? Or like the world that Lukunika is. Oh my god. Wait, I want to learn more about that. So maybe when if Al got isekai'd from Subaru's world, what if he was also the candidate for a sin? Right? Because the only candidate position that is vacant now is Pride and Sloth if Petalquist is dead, but I do think Petalquist has a main body somewhere hidden that he can just always go back to. Okay, the part with the candidate speeches leading up to Subaru's freakout is very different. The candidates have lengthier speeches, letting them a bit more depth and characterization, but the important part is when Emilia assumes the forefront and after she's announced as silver-haired half-elf, Roswaal goes with the flow and publicly takes a massive dump on her by saying it doesn't matter if she's suitable for it or not. He just needed the 5 people recognized by the insignia. Oh my fucking god, Roswaal is more sus in the fucking light novel. Subaru is triggered by this, and after he doesn't stand down, Roswaal launches an Alcoa at him. Oh my god. However, Buck protects him and threatens everyone in the room with his ice magic. Actually, it's temperature magic. At which point he recognizes the Beast of the End, translated as Apocalypse Beast of Eternal Frost in the official translation. Miktolov, one of the guys, the higher ups who are choosing or whatever, or the council member, then realizes that it's all a sham planned by Roswaal and Buck to show that, oh, I'll bet Emilia holds the power to kill everyone in the room. Acting as the tyrant they make her out to be for being half-elf, she's not such thing and she wishes to complete fair and square. It's to Roswaal and Buck to show their power. Emilia holds power to get like Buck, right? Wow, okay, I mean that was kind of smart by Roswaal, no? That was actually really smart by Roswaal. Roswaal literally baited Subaru to act angry so he can have an excuse to attack him, and then Buck to defend Roswaal. That was what's happening there? I think so, right? Oh my god, wait, but that doesn't really change anything about me being suspicious of Roswaal still, by the way. I'm just saying that was pretty freaking cool. Anyway. Episode 8. Once in a very great while. During the trip towards the Mother's Domain, Rem's introspection and monologue revealed some feelings of jealousy over Subaru spending time with other people. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we saw that jealousy a little bit as well when, for some reason, Subaru was picking up a dragon to ride. What was Dragon's name again? Oh, gosh. Yeah, the black one with the orange eyes. Not orange eyes. What is orange eyes? Yeah, but he's like Dragon Ride, right? And then showed some jealousy over there as well. She admits, which she admits are selfish. However, she thinks him gentle and adorable when dealing with other mansion residents. However, Emilia still irritates her because of her existence in half-elf. Oh god, okay. I did not know that. Being that the witch cult had affected her life too greatly, and also because she cannot bring herself to like or dislike Emilia. Okay, that's a really interesting Rem characteristic that I didn't realize exists only by watching the anime. I wonder, I mean, Rem is now gone, right? But I feel like the whole season 2 is gonna focus on getting Rem back somehow. And I think it is the sin of gluttony, deleting Rem's existence and her character from this world. So I'm like, I don't want to say it because one of my theories was wrong, but I'm 90% sure on this theory. The theory that I was wrong, by the way, was in episode 9 of the director's cut. I said I think there's a new checkpoint after Subaru woke up next to Ram, and Ram said, "Who's Rem?" Right? That was one of my blunders, if you can call it like that. And that theory, I was like, I'm 90% sure it's a new checkpoint. But on this, I'm 90% sure again. Anyway, when Subaru and Rem go to visit Barrel Mansion together while trying to gather forces to protect Emilia, in the third loop of Arc 3, there are two things of note. Once they enter the mansion, Rem seems to be sniffing something, staring at the back of Al's helmet. Then once Subaru stayed alone to Brasilia, Rem remarks that he should be especially wary of Al. We don't see Al's face. Is that because Al is a different race? Maybe Al is... wait, but Al is from Earth, so he can only be human, right? Maybe Al has aura. Sniffs, by the way. Witch's scent. Maybe it's Witch's scent. Because remember my theory that Al was maybe also a candidate for Bride and has maybe like some kind of ability, and the reason maybe he also has Deathloop, I don't know, but wait, but how can two people have Deathloop in this world? Okay. Remember that he should be especially wary of Al as Subaru is knocked out and brought outside by Al. There's a short exchange where Al calls Rem by Ram's name. Ram clarifies Ram is her sister, and Al asks if her sister is still alive, to which Ram answers yes. And Al suddenly projects a ghastly aura, which shocks Rem and Subaru both. Calming down immediately afterwards, he tells them to leave as soon as possible as he's not in a good mood, and they leave. Al remarks, "You gotta be joking me," so that's what it was. Makes me wanna puke. What? Interesting. So Al knows Ram and Ram. Also, Al has a sniff or like a scent to him. Makes me think maybe Al is part of the Witch's cult then. And maybe Al was there when Ram and Rem were attacked by the Witch's cult when they were young. That's why he projects the ghastly aura, maybe. So, what is this remark though? You gotta be joking me, so that's what it was. Makes me wanna puke. What is that remark? What is that remark? Interesting. Did Al want Ram to be dead or Rem to be dead? Ghastly aura. Is that like a shadow attack maybe? Maybe he also has shadow magic just like Subaru? God. I don't know. Let's go back to that later. When Subaru and Rem go visit Pariel Mansion, during Subaru's talk with Anastasia for procuring Dragon Carriage, she questions him about his birthplace, and Subaru nonchalantly reveals it is from beyond the Great Waterfall. Anastasia comments that once in a very great while, there will be stories about people from beyond the Great Waterfall, and comments that Subaru should study up Hoshin Wilderness. And historical figure from she borrowed her name. Oh, okay, so I'm guessing that the people who claim to be beyond the waterfall are all from like different worlds. And I'm thinking that Al is also one of these people, and I'm guessing Hoshin is also one of these people that are from maybe Earth. Right? Maybe they're also from Earth. Won't make sense, right? That makes me think maybe the witch is also from Earth. But the witch is elf though. So there's no elves on Earth. Okay. Episode 9. And Betelgeuse starts despairing about the power held by Buck in his Star Beast form. Buck mentions Eshtina. Who? Eshtina. Remember there was a person that was talking to Buck in the movie, the narrator? Maybe that was Eshtina, not the witch. Not the witch of envy, but maybe that was Eshtina. I think so, right? Yeah, that would make more sense. But she was never name dropped in the movie. And preparations are being made for the White Veil battle. Felix exposes some of the Crush's past to Subaru. Felix mentioned that Subaru reminds him a bit of someone who was in Crush's life, the late 4th Prince of the Kingdom of Lugunica, Fourier Lugunica. Okay. It's also that Fourier made terrible excuses to meet Crush, and as that his call was obvious. The implication that he had a crush on Crush. Funny, crush on Crush. Okay, so Felix Subaru reminded Felix of Fourier. King was a prince. The late 4th prince means that he's dead now, right? What if Subaru didn't get... Yeah, no. I was gonna say maybe Subaru didn't get isekai, he got transmigrated into Fourier. No. Anyway, imagine though. What if Subaru actually didn't get isekai, he just got transmigrated into someone else, but he still looks like Subaru? I mean, that will not really change anything, will it? Episode 10, I love Emilia. When discussing the fact that Subaru successfully eluded Crush's lie detecting divine protection, Rem tells him that she believes in him with all his heart. This prompts Subaru to deliver her second I love Emilia. But as doing it, Rem makes his heart flutter. After some chit chat, Rem says she would be okay with being Subaru's second wife. Okay. I mean, yeah. Interesting. Also, but it adds that looking at Rem makes his heart flutter. I do feel like because how Rem treats Subaru, that makes Subaru also love Rem. But you know, of course, we know that Subaru is all out on Emilia, and I don't think he will ever change his mind about Emilia, comparing Emilia to Rem. Remaining episodes. When Subaru asks for clarification on the trial, Betelgeuse begins to talking about the highway being sealed. Okay. The director mentions the mist as the method. Oh, the fog? This implies that the white veil having spawned near Flugel's was premeditated. Okay, but I want to know about like gluttony, sin of gluttony. Betelgeuse now at the body of Madwoman mentions that it's unwritten rule among Sin archbishops to not interfere with each other. Okay, interesting. The witch cultists found along the highway in episode 25 are explicitly assumed to be Mook cultists that follow gluttony. What does Mook mean? Foolish. Which is shown to be the white veil with an earlier remark by the Buck in episode 18 saying, it's not, but the gluttony is working with the white whale. I was talking about in the beginning of this video, by the way, about the remark by Buck in that episode. Okay, I still haven't figured out what this meant, by the way. Makes you wanna puke. I guess maybe when he used that aura, he saw the witch ascent also in Subaru or something like that. Anyway, this is my theories, guys. Yep. So, season 2 is up next. I've been watching it actually right now. And you can follow Patreon. And I'll see you soon.